Good morning, my millionaire growth partners. My name is Otis Tucker, the world's first trillionaire. I am creating heaven on earth, and the way that I do it, people, is by creating financial freedom for billions of people across this world. I'm creating a million millionaires. I am the greatest leader that ever lived. I am God, people, and most important is that I manifest the words I speak. My message for you today, people, is that you heal yourself by dealing with your past. This one right here is raw, man, because it's something that most people don't want to deal with. I know for years I literally avoided dealing with my past because it's so much easier to just focus on where you're going. The only problem with that, people, is that, it's like a skyscraper, is that you gotta have a strong foundation in order to sustain the growth that's to come. And the way you build a great foundation is that it can't be built on shaky grounds, people. So that the things that triggers you, that triggers emotions that you haven't dealt with, whether it's anger, whether it's resentment, or whatever. Guilt and shame is the most popular ones, people. I'll tell you that. Guilt and shame from things that have happened in the past, it's like you have to deal with those things, and that's how you heal, is that as you face those things, it genuinely and naturally heals you. But there's no shortcut to that, though, is that, again, past is a minute ago. That's the past too, right? So it's like from a minute ago all the way to our ancestors, man, is that you got to realize there's a lot of like traumatic events that have happened, even especially with our ancestors. Just think about it, from slavery days and so forth. And even right now, there is some things as people feel an inferiority complex. And, from the slave trade and all that stuff, a lot of black people, especially black men, I know for myself, living in America since 95, it's like, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that, and it's like, you can't ignore the past, people. Not if you want to live a very fulfilled life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want you to live a whole life, a very holistic life, man. I don't want you to live segmented happiness. I want you to be genuinely happy from within. And that can only happen for you is if you heal. You must heal all those wounds, man. And again, is that you take them one at a time and address them and deal with them. You know what I mean? It's like anything, my rule of thumb is that anything that make you feel guilt or shame, whether it's something that you did or something that happened to you, is that you must make peace with it, people, because until you do, then whatever that thing is maintains power over you. It doesn't matter if it's 50 years later. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter. Is that until you deal with your problems, until you deal with your issues, man, you will always be victim to it, people. So I'm encouraging you today to literally face your past, man. It's like, it's like I call it shadow work. It's like dealing with the dark side of yourself. It's like you have to deal with those things because, again, it's like I had to embrace the fact that there's darkness and there's light in you. You're both. And you have to be able to deal with your darkness, which is you facing your past and facing it head on, people, shamelessly. It's like to get to the point where you become shameless is that you have to heal, people. You have to heal, man. You have to acknowledge every single instant in your life that caused you to feel emotions you don't want to feel. You have to allow yourself, keyword here, to sit in that emotion for a duration of time. Whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's an hour. My point is I want you to allow yourself to feel how that situation make you feel. And as you're in that moment, because again, you're consciously doing this, right? So as you're in that emotion where you're allowing yourself to feel those emotions, I want you to, at some point, be like, okay, I've had enough of that. You know what I'm saying? You have had enough of that, and you are intentionally choosing at this point to change your story about that situation. You are going to forgive yourself or forgive whoever that person is that have caused that traumatic event in your life. And you're not doing it for them, people. You're doing it for yourself, because you cannot move on until you make peace with whatever that is triggering the emotions that you do not want. But this is how you take your power back, people, is that you must take your power back, man. And the way you do it is exactly how I'm expressing it to you, is that you have to allow yourself to feel the emotions that arises and allow yourself to be in that moment. And what it does, obviously, when you're in that emotion that you don't like, it causes some degree of pain or uncomfortableness, at least. And that's part of the process. It's like what you're doing, it's like touching a hot stove, man. You know, as a kid, it's like, as you touch, you're like, ooh, that hurt. You felt the pain. And as you felt the pain, I'm pretty daggone sure you don't go laying your hand on hot stove again. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the blessing in that, people, is that not only do you heal, but you also learn the lesson that, you know, whatever that looks like. Maybe you take more precautions next time. Maybe you'll be more conscious of what you're saying. Maybe, but there's lessons in all those traumatic events, man, that you could take away for future reference, you know. But the bottom line that I'm getting at, people, is that you can never build a skyscraper for life until you build a solid, sustainable foundation. You cannot build it on shaky grounds. And I don't care what you're building, you're not living your best life unless you heal, people. You must heal. You must heal. And the only way to heal is by facing the events from your past, which again can be a minute ago or 40, 50 years ago. It doesn't matter. Past is the past, man. And there's valuable lessons there. And for you to believe that there's no lessons there, that's you in denial. Okay? So I want you to embrace the past, learn from the past, because if you look over your life, you'll see there's patterns. You know, it's like, that's the beauty of history, is that, you know, is that there's patterns there, people. And when you see that you're having the same recurring pattern experiences, then you can take a lot of valuable lessons from that. Is that realizing that the reason you keep doing the same thing over and over is because you have not dealt with it. And that's what I'm saying to you, people. You must deal with your past. You must deal with anything that causes you guilt and shame. Because if you feel guilt and shame, people, I don't care how much you tell yourself, you will never feel that you genuinely deserve the blessings and favor of God over your life. You must face the things that make you feel guilt and shame, man. You have to deal with those things, because until you do, people, you're bound to repeat the negative cycles that you claim you don't want to do anymore. So I really want you to be very intentional as far as dealing with your past, healing yourself, people. And again, you heal yourself by allowing yourself to feel the emotions that you know, that are triggered, that you don't want to feel, and understand why you felt that way, and just take the lessons from it. But the biggest lesson more than anything, is that as you allow yourself to feel those emotions that you don't like, and you feel the gravity of the pain, the powerful part, people, is that you are in control of this. So therefore, you at that point is going to switch your mindset, switch your thoughts, forgive yourself, forgive those people, and realize that that's your past. It's no longer your present, and for damn sure not your future. You see what I'm saying? Because you have the power and took the power back to control the narrative. You had a chance to forgive and choose intentionally to move past that. People, believe me when I tell you, this is a priceless lesson right here. You will feel so much better about yourself. Your self-confidence and all of those things will rise, because, see, when a person live in a humility, with humility, there's nothing anybody could say or do to embarrass them, because, you know, you're dealing with all your bullshit, man. You're dealing with them. So it's like, if somebody point them out to you, okay, I already know that. Okay, great. What's next? All you focus on, you cannot move past focus on the future until you deal with your past, because the illusion is that you thinking that by ignoring it that you're progressively moving forward, but the truth is you're not, people. Because again, remember what I said, you cannot build a skyscraper on shaky grounds, man. You have to be solid ground. That means you need to know 150% and embrace and accept all of who you are, all your faults, all your strengths, all your weaknesses. People, you got to deal with that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Take heed, man. Anyways, shout out to Jamaica, man, who is the eye of this world. Shout out to Africa, who is the mother of this world. Shout out to the entire Caribbean and the African diaspora worldwide. People, my mandate for being here is to unite the Caribbean and Africa, man. And the way that we do it, people, is by choosing to stand united, man. We are going to choose to support each other, empower each other, encourage each other, look out for each other, man. We are going to consciously choose to be our brothers and sisters keepers, especially when they're in need. And we're going to be intentional to make sure that we share this knowledge, man. Things that can bless humanity, things that can bless people's lives. We are going to push forward those things that improve people's lifestyle, that improve people's lives across the board, you know. Each one teach one, people. Those are the two philosophies that we're living by. We're choosing to live by those philosophies. Bottom line is, people, is that we are going to stay and choose to stand united. And that makes me very happy. My declarations over your life, people. Number one is that you are a millionaire. Number two is that you're married to the person of your dreams. Number three, people, is that you have amazing health and is in the best shape of your life, man. My prayer for you today, people, is that the Spirit of God, man, will continue to lead you and guide you, man, to being your amazing self. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in there, people. Is that greatness is inside of you. And I really do pray, man, that you really go on this journey of self-discovery, also practicing every single day and realizing that life is a journey, man. And all you're here to do, man, is just be authentically you, whatever that looks like. Be your corny, quirky self, man. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a nerdy person, go for that. Do you, man. Do what makes you happy, man. At the end of the day, it's like, what's the point if not that? You know? Go for your happiness, people. Whatever that looks like, man. Blessings on to y'all and y'all family, man. Have a great day.